The Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, the 6th chapter.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to the disciples, "Beware of practicing your piety before others, in order to be seen by them, for then you have no reward from your Father in heaven. So whenever you give alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be done in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and in the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And whenever you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces, so as to show others that they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." The Gospel of the Lord. Why are you doing this? That is a question that all of us have been asked before. When we were little children, whenever we got asked, "Why are you doing this?" the implication was we were doing something that we really ought not to be doing. But even as adults, people ask us that question, "Why are you doing this?" Sometimes we even ask it of ourselves. "Self, why are you doing this?" In all honesty, sometimes when I ask myself that question, I am doing something because, hey, it's habit. And habit is not necessarily bad. I brush my teeth because it's habit. There are a bunch of daily tasks that I absolutely have been able to remember to do just because they're habits. But you know, good, bad, or indifferent, sometimes the reason that I'm doing this, it's just habit. Sometimes the reason that I'm doing this is tradition. It's tradition, and I love tradition. It's great. During the holidays, different holidays, we eat traditional foods that were eaten by our families. We have different traditional times that we get together with friends and family. Traditions can be really good things. But sometimes we end up getting in a rut. And sometimes tradition just becomes, hey, we're stuck in the routine. It's the way we've always done it, especially when we're Lutherans. It's the way we've always done it. And sometimes the reason that we're doing stuff, or the reason I am doing things, is because it kind of makes me look good. Honestly, lots of us, we dress up more than we need to when we go out. We clean our houses very nicely before company comes over, and we say that it's just to be polite and respectful of others who are coming into our homes so that they feel welcome, but deep down, part of it is, it makes us look good. And, sometimes that is why we're doing stuff. Why are you doing this? This is the question that Jesus is really asking people in this section on the Sermon on the Mount that I just read. And therefore, it's also the question that Jesus puts before us as we begin our Lenten journey. And like, many of the things about which we're asked as adults, when we're asked, "Why are you doing this?" Jesus doesn't ask, "Why are you doing this?" about bad things that we might be doing. Instead, Jesus asks this question about activities that are, or at least often are, very good and laudable things to do. Why are you praying? Why are you fasting? Why are you giving to the poor? Are not all of these good things? Are not all of these things that are often commanded in the Bible? But for Jesus, righteousness is not found in the technicalities of what you do or you don't do. Instead, Jesus calls people to a deeper kind of righteousness that's found by asking why you do or do not do those things. Are you praying or fasting or helping the poor because it's habit? And often you get into a routine and so you just do stuff. And that can help because like brushing my teeth, it's good, but sometimes does our prayer life get like that? We pray a prayer, pray the Lord's Prayer or something like that, and you get to the end and you think, did I remember all the parts of that? I don't even remember the words I just said. Well, what does it all mean? Because sometimes what we're doing, it's just a routine. Why do you pray? Why do you fast? Why do you help out the poor? Sometimes because it's just tradition. And in Lent, lots of people, we give up something for Lent. What is it we give up? It really doesn't matter, because it's a tradition. You just give up something during Lent. And because giving up something is just something you traditionally do during Lent, sometimes it doesn't really have much meaning. Why are you praying, or fasting, or helping the poor? Is it because it makes you feel good, or look good, or feel better about yourself? Because most of us, we want to help others. We want to help our neighbors. We know we could do more. And life is busy. And we're caught up in things that we have to take care of. But then, Lent comes around, Christmas comes around, Thanksgiving comes around, we have a special drive or something. So we help out people, and in the end, we feel good about ourselves. And that's normal. But giving isn't supposed to be about us and how we feel. It's supposed to be about others and what they need. So why are you doing this? It's a question for us, just as it was a question for ancient peoples. And Jesus called them, and he calls us today to consider why we're doing what we're doing, whatever it is that we're doing for Lent. Is what we're doing or not doing helping us to grow spiritually? Is what we're doing or not doing drawing us closer to God or to our neighbors? Is what we're doing or not doing actually making a difference in the lives of others? Those are the real questions of Lent. Indeed, they are the questions Jesus asks us all the time. But these days are a good time to pay special attention to those kinds of questions. And so instead of thinking about what you're doing for Lent, instead, consider the questions that Jesus asks. Why are you doing this? How can this help you to grow closer to God? And how can this help you to focus on somebody other than yourself?